And we're on the air. Like it or not. All right, let's see here. See if I can grab the URL. All right. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you all for your patience. Sorry I missed last week. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the URL to post it on Facebook and Twitter. Here we go. There, that's done. All right, and that's done. Okay, now, should be active, should be live. Hi, everyone. Let's see here. Okay, all right. See, I'm wearing this because it protects me from lasers. You never know when you might be attacked by somebody with a laser. Cobra attacks with their lasers, you will wish you had one of these. It also, keeps the alien transmissions, out of my brain. Hi, Mike Lopez. I've got to say hi to everybody. Gaz, how you doing? Mark Hoke, Mr. Bishop, CBGB, Pensive Ruin. Hey, how you doing, Pensive Ruin? Sick Boy, Brandon Knight. Good to see everyone. Jason Smith, Robert Olson, Nathan. Hi, I'm glad you liked the channel. There's Green Yeti. How you do, Green Yeti? Sorry I missed last week. Hold on, this is... it's turning my head into a baked potato. Sorry I missed last week. I've had a problem. I've been getting sick frequently. I think that has something to do with where I work. It's very germy. So I've been getting sick a lot more frequently than I usually do. It's been very frustrating. Never in my life have I been sick this frequently. And it's just like a cold or, mild flu. But still, it's, I get over it fairly quickly, but still, it's annoying. Hello, Byron. And also, Byron, thank you for the stuff. Byron sent me some stuff. I did get it, so thank you for that. So yeah, I used to try to be a tough guy and, keep working through it, but, it just takes longer to recover. So, now I just try to get as much rest as I can and just take care of myself. Nice. Thanks for joining us, Lukewarm and John Ulrich. John, thanks for your contribution to the show. Eric. Yeah. Flying, I guess, does seem to have that problem. Working around kids, which I do, also, you tend to get sick a lot. So, but I'm better. I do have a little bit of a lingering cough, so I apologize if I cough. I will try to turn away from the mic. But this cough is the last thing that's kind of finally getting rid of. That's the last of it that's lingering. But anyway, you didn't come here to talk about my health issues, minor as they are. We'll talk about some G.I. Joe. Curtis Schultz asks, what's my favorite Joe? My favorite is Stalker. EVGMZ asks what kind of lawyer I am. Right now, I'm with the Public Defender's Office, and I'm at the Juvenile Division. So I work on juvenile criminal cases, which means that my clients are all kids who have criminal cases, and that building is it's small. We're often in close quarters with a lot of people, and just once somebody gets sick, excuse me, it just goes around the whole office. It's horrible. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Just a very minor cough, but we're getting over that. Also, my daughter actually went to pick up some food, so any minute now she should be coming in here and bringing some food for me because I haven't eaten dinner yet. So anyway, Eric says one of my best friends is an attorney in Tulsa who represents immigrant kids. Always depressed. Yeah, that would be tough. That would be a tough line. I understand. Who knows? I may know the guy. I don't want you to tell the guy's name in the chat. You know, privacy. But you never know. I might know the guy. Hey, Chris asks about the snake eyes that Comic Tropes drew. I thought it turned out really cool. I wasn't able to stay for the whole thing, so I only saw part of it. But it was looking all right by the time I left. Speaking of drawing, I know I owe some drawings to a couple people, and I haven't gotten to them yet. But I'm just trying to get through the first half of this week. The back half of the week ought to slow down a little bit, so I'll have more time to draw. So I owe people drawings, and I will get them, but I just haven't had time to draw lately, so I'm working on it. Yeah, Beta Ray Bob says I should wear one of those doctor masks to protect yourself, like in Japan. Yeah, that would be not a bad idea. Probably all of us should. Well, one thing that's going to help things, I think, is that we're going to be moving into a new building. We'll have more space. We won't be quite as close quarters with everyone, so we won't be directly breathing everybody's germs all the time. The building that we're in right now is very old and very small. The new building is going to be better, so I think that might actually help a little bit. John asks if anyone caught Timmer's new one. Of course, I watch Timmer's videos every week. Timmer's video this week, I think, was the Mud Fighter and Dog Fight, which I have. I have the Mud Fighter and I have Dog Fight, but I think I'm missing Dog Fight's pistol. I think that's what I'm missing. Oh, Byron can get germ masks by the gross. That's a good idea. See, that's what somebody needs to get me for my birthday. Give me some germ masks. Hello, McDowell. Nice to see you. I do have G.I. Joe stuff to talk about. I actually do. Oh, thanks, Mark. I think last time we did a live stream, I did announce Mark's Women's Month on his channel. So Mark Hoke did a Women's Month, so if you want to see those videos, just check out his channel. And I can't say very much about Venomous Maximus, Pence of Ruin. I don't think I have an opinion at this point. Hello, Marvel and DC. And Delvis. Hello, Delvis. John says he had fun with the Mud Fighter and lost Dog Fight pretty instantly. Yeah. The Mud Fighter is an interesting plane. It's got some cool features, but then it's got, some shortcuts were taken on that vehicle. I need to review that soon. It's interesting. It is. Hello, Human Mechanism. Nice to see you. Sorry if we've got some lag, but nice to see everyone. Hi, Cobra Viper 11. I do have G.I. Joe stuff to talk about, like I said. I'm actually surrounded by G.I. Joe stuff right now. You know, that problem that I always had with clutter on my table here. Well, I got that again. I don't always, have the time to put things away. So I actually, I'm doing a Patron's Choice poll right now to decide what next review is going to be. And I got the options right here. There's the 84 Watchtower and the, pick this up without having it fall apart, the 84 Bivouac, and the 84 Mountain Howitzer. Those are the options. I love all these things. I think I had all of them as a kid, and I think they're great. So, so if you are a patron, go vote. Go vote. And I can hear right now that the food has arrived. Don't worry, I'm not going to eat on camera. You guys didn't show up to watch me eat dinner, so but my food just got here. Yeah, the Watchtower. I dig the Watchtower. It's a cool toy. Kaylee Matthew asks any 90s figures I want lately. Actually, I've really been thinking about the aliens. I want to nail down those other two aliens from the Star Brigade series. I've seen a few, and I've almost pulled the trigger on them, but if I can get those under my belt, I'll feel a little better about it. And I wouldn't mind reviewing one. It's not like I'm, I love the figures, but I think it's probably time. It's been a long time since we've looked at an alien, and so it's probably time to do that. So, hello, daughter, with the food. So anyway, John says he has one shell to the howitzer. Yeah. So one of these. It's a good start, though. Johannes asks if I have either of the excuse me, either of the mech suits from Star Brigade. I do not have those yet. That's another thing I've been looking at, but I haven't pulled the trigger on. However, I have purchased something recently that will be for the eventual review of the Defiant. Defiant still has a long way to go, but I did make a little bit of progress, and I will show you that soon. Yeah, so my priorities are kind of all over the map right now. I can't seem to decide, what I really need to get right away and what can wait. But I've still been trying to pick up some of the rare items because the prices on those go kind of crazy. Anyway, what else I got here? I got other G.I. Joe stuff around. This is a G.I. Joe show, so I can show you some G.I. Joe stuff. I got my Tiger Force Duke out here. Got Tiger Force Duke. I also have Lowlight. I also have Wetsuit. And I also have Leatherneck. If you can figure out why I have all of these figures out right now, I will give you a no prize. They're all for an upcoming review, but I'm not going to tell you what's being reviewed. That's a surprise. Jedi DB says, how's it going? Things are going fine. Things are going fine. Green Yeti is doing a Dragon Ball Super model kit. That's cool. That's cool. It's a nice hobby. Model building is a nice hobby. So, and Brandon just got Tiger Force Duke. Cool. So yeah, see some G.I. Joe stuff to look at. I got some more stuff out here. Speaking of 90s stuff, I have Leatherneck version 3 from 1993 just hanging out here. James Corman says good evening. Good evening, Mr. Corman. I got from 1994. I have Stinky Diver out here. So all of these are for an upcoming review. Yeah, the giraffe pants. Yeah. I mean, look at this pattern. What else could it be? This is like the exact pattern that you would get on like a plastic giraffe toy. I mean, it's a giraffe. And, you know, somebody at Hasbro, you know, they drew a picture of it in full color. You know, they got their prototypes. You know, they got their 2-up Paint Master with the giraffe print pants. And they said, yes, that looks good. Let's send that out. So, yeah, so I got some G.I. Joe stuff out here. Got some stuff here. Yeah, so anyway, what else I got? Oh, hey. I'm sorry, I can't show some of this stuff to you because some of the stuff is from a recent unboxing that I did. There will be an unboxing video soon, but I don't want to spoil the surprise, so I can't show you that stuff. And as always, I have, like, figure stands all over the place. So anyway, hi, how's everybody going? So the most recent review that you guys have seen is the Skyhawk, the Sky Patrol Skyhawk. Does anybody have any input about the Skyhawk? Do you have the Skyhawk? Do you want to get the Skyhawk? Do you dislike the Skyhawk? Hello, Chef G. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you like the videos. Invader, Dark Lord Cobra 66, hello. So yeah, I was still kind of not feeling very well when I did the Skyhawk review. Yeah, the Skyhawk. When I did the Skyhawk, I was still not feeling great. That's why I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't turn out too good. But people are watching it, so thank you. Thanks for watching it. In the next review, I've already recorded the review that's coming up this Sunday, and in that review, you can kind of tell that my voice isn't all there. So the Skyhawk has been evading the human mechanism. Well, they are small and, you know, maneuverable. They can get away very easily. Renegade Biker says, I need to have yet to publish my part 3 of me working on my remote control F-14 Tomcat. That'd be really cool. As a kid, I always, you know, I saw like remote control airplanes, and I always wanted one. I thought that'd be really awesome. Of course, as a kid, I probably would have crashed the thing and destroyed it, but still, you know, I always thought they looked really cool. Well, it's a side subject, but Jason, yes, there is a story that a second person has been cured of AIDS, so that's kind of big news. So congratulations to that guy, and I hope that leads to, you know, a cure for the illness for everyone. That's awesome. Let's see. B Bishop says, you know, do you or anyone else know if any weapons/accessory packs unopened in original packing available anywhere? Yeah, I see them on eBay from time to time. Yeah, the unopened ones, like the still sealed on the cards, you can find them. But be patient, though, because the prices on those are all over the place. I mean, they go high, they go low. So, but yeah, that you can find them. Yeah, so, yeah, I have these out because I had them out for a review. So you will see them in a review pretty soon. What else I got here? I got more figure stands. I've had this. Okay, okay. Everybody here, I have an idea. I need to know what you think about this. It may be a dumb idea, so you tell me if it's dumb. All right. I got like. Oh, I can't. I can't show you this so you can read it because this is for a review you haven't seen yet. But this. For basically for every review that I've done so far this year, I have a few pages of notes that I work off of, and I just have a stack of them now. Basically, just for the reviews that I've done this year, and they all have like my notes and stuff on them, and like the secret code that I put in the video. And basically, I mean, I used to just throw that stuff out, but would anybody want it? That's my question. Would anybody want, like, basically the notes that I use for reviews? Keeping in mind, though, that, any mistakes that I make in the notes they're there, and it's all marked up and scratched up and stuff like that. So I don't know if anybody would have any interest in them, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, once the review is over, I don't know what to do with them. It's just paper. So a couple of people would. Okay, well, at least there's some interest. So I might do something with them then. At least something other than just throw them away. Mark, I will have to give you input at another time. I have not had a chance to watch the video yet. That is a problem that I'm having. I'm not able to keep up with a lot of people's videos lately. I'm trying to. I did watch Timmer's, as I stated before, and I did watch Form BX 257's and G.I. Joe Birds. But it's been a really busy week, and so there are a lot of videos I haven't been able to watch yet. So, Delvis wants to know favorite Joe memorabilia. That's a good question. Let me think. Favorite Joe memorabilia. Oh, okay, I'll tell you. It's something I don't have yet, but it's something I've always wanted, okay? When you would send in for, like, the fan club and you would get the dog tags? I never had those dog tags. And I still don't have those dog tags, and I would love to have a pair of the dog tags. So that might be a favorite. Delvis says the battle ribbons. Those are really cool. I like the battle ribbons. One thing that I did have as a kid is the sunglasses. Does anybody remember the sunglasses? I always used to pretend like they were Snake Eyes goggles, but I had the sunglasses and they were awesome. I don't think they would fit me anymore. I think they're made for kids, but those, I really liked those. Anyway, yeah, a good question. Yeah, thanks for the suggestions. I just, like I said, normally I don't do anything with my old notes. If you watched my making of the Crimson Guard video, I was doing handwritten notes. Well, I did handwritten notes for quite a while, for several months, maybe almost a year. But I decided to go back to the typed notes because they're easier for me to read. Sometimes my penmanship isn't all that good. I tend to write really fast. So by typing them out, I can ensure that I can actually read it. So starting the beginning of this year, I've got typewritten notes that I use for the videos. Axel Foley says, does anybody remember the giant G.I. Joe coloring book? Yes, I absolutely remember that. Remember having artwork from the first series of 80s Joes. Yeah, it was like all the 82s. Yeah, I remember that. I've seen a couple. I don't have one right now. I've seen a couple that just around. Yeah, I had one and I loved it back then. I mean, how can you get better than a giant G.I. Joe coloring book? Chris liked the minifigures that came out with some of the figures. Now, those like the minifigures and like the face paint and the battle ribbons, that was getting pretty late in my G.I. Joe collecting experience. But I do remember them, and I know I had some, but that was shortly before I kind of got out of G.I. Joe, so I didn't have a lot of those. Of those little pack-in bonuses, I think what I liked the most was the battle ribbons, because it had like a little insert that explained what each ribbon was for, and some of the ribbons would like connected to the comic book story, and I thought that was really cool. Nathan says, "I ever think of doing a paperwork review?" Well, excuse me, I haven't thought of necessarily doing a paperwork review, but however, I did do a live stream a while back where I went through some of the old paperwork. Max Rebo's Ghost Music, thank you. I am feeling better. Thanks for asking. Nice to have you here. Good to see you. Cobra Viper still has a mini Cobra Commander. Well, I think it's nice to have, for a Viper to have a mini Cobra Commander, so you can boss him around. Invader liked the face paint. Yeah, I liked the face paint too, but there just wasn't enough of it. Like, it wasn't really enough to like completely paint your face and look like Hit and Run, but I liked the idea of it. I would assume that, like, even if you get that stuff and it's unopened, it's got to be all dried up by now, I would assume. Chad had the navy blue 86 lunchbox in the 2nd grade. Cool. And Max Rebo's Ghost Music had the entire mini figure set. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I only had a few of them. But yeah, like I said, that was toward the end when close to when I stopped collecting. The extra weapons packs, the Battle Gear accessory packs. Yeah, we got the Battle Gear accessory packs because, of course, we were always losing our accessories, and it was nice to have the extras. Some of the recoloring of the accessories we weren't too fond of, but a lot of them were really good. Mark is doing a Pythona 2 weeks from this. I guess Mark is doing a Pythona review in 2 weeks. So if you're subscribed to Mark's channel, watch out for a Pythona review. Max Rebo's Ghost Music, the puzzles. Yeah, the puzzles were really cool. The board games were also cool. And I didn't have the board games back then, but looking at them now, I think, well, at least some of them look like they're fun. The Live the Adventure board game, I do have that one. It's maybe not as fun as it could be, but there are others, and they look like they could be fun. Robert says, have you ever read the Choose Your Own Adventure books? I did read, I think, at least a couple of them back in the day when I was a kid, but I don't have any now. I'd like to get some, but I haven't picked up any. Some of them look. I think some of them were written by R.L. Stine, which I think is cool. But I don't have any right now. John Ulrich is going to talk aliens with a friend. I assume that means your friend is an alien. John Ulrich is going to go talk to his alien friend. See you later, John. Chad's second grade lunchbox was Rambo. I'm trying to remember. I had a bunch of different lunchboxes, and I don't remember which one. All of them that I had. I think I had a different lunchbox each year. And I know sometimes we just had generic lunchboxes just because we didn't have a ton of money. So some of our lunchboxes weren't all that cool. But At some point, I know I had a Heathcliff lunchbox. I had a Heathcliff lunchbox, even though I really didn't care anything about Heathcliff. But I know I had a G.I. Joe lunchbox. I believe I had a Transformers lunchbox, and some others that I can't remember. Axel Foley, yes, everybody knows you're Eddie Murphy. Yeah. So anyway, I got my tinfoil hats, my aluminum foil hat, or my aluminium foil hat if you're from the UK, protecting me from lasers and alien transmission. John Ulrich's alien friend will not influence my brain as long as I wear this. John asks if Metal Gear would work in G.I. Joe. I do not know. That's a good question for Timmer. Timmer actually does a series on exactly that thing, so that would be a Timmer question. Yeah, Heathcliff. That. I mean, I remember the cartoon. I just don't remember why I had the lunchbox. It was never my favorite cartoon or anything. Maybe it was like a hand-me-down or something. Like somebody else had it and gave it to me. But I do remember having a Heathcliff lunchbox. George Lopez says, "Greetings from Guatemala." Greetings, Guatemala, from the United States. Sorry, I'm from Oklahoma. Me no speak English good. Yes, this is... Invader 6 is correct. This is not microwave safe. Nathan says, were there any vehicles that were in the comic but not the toy? Yeah, definitely. Cobra's transport helicopter was in the comic, but that wasn't a toy. G.I. Joe would often use C-130 transport planes, and that's based on a real plane, but there wasn't a G.I. Joe toy of it, so that's sort of one. They used it a lot, so it's almost like a team vehicle, but there was no toy of it at the time. So anyway, yeah, so, and there's JJ's Toys Room. Hey, JJ's Toys Room. Homework with the kids, I know how that is. Anyway, I'm trying to keep up with you guys in the chat. I'm doing the best I can. I'm really trying to do better to keep up with what you guys are saying, but I'm not that good at it. So, anyway, but thanks everyone for showing up. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I've already shown you all the G.I. Joe stuff that I have within reach, except for stuff that I can't show you because I don't want to ruin the surprise. Oh, hey, what's that? Hold on. Yeah, okay, one more thing. This won't ruin any surprises. Oh, JJ needs that T-shirt. I'm sorry, I forgot to send you T-shirt size. I'll send you a text. Hold on a second. Let's see. Pardon me, everyone. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. There we go. There. See, I got to do things right away. If I don't do things right away, I forget. That's just how it is. Anyway, okay, so here's another one that I just had handy. It's Ninja Force Snake Eyes. Woo! Woo! Hey, Jack Laura, nice to see you. Jack, good question. There were some storybooks that came with tapes. I saw some online a while back. I didn't get them, but I know they're out there. Oh, 3D Joe's may have them. I thought that 3D Joe's got some of them and digitized some of the recordings. So check on 3djoes.com. I could be mistaken about that, but I thought they got some. But I know there were some, they didn't come with figures, but there were some books that came with story tapes. So I know those are out there. Yeah, Snake Eyes looks like he's at a rave. Doggy paddle Snake Eyes, yeah, that's it. Yeah. This does sort of remind me of the old DC Superpowers figures, because I think Batman and Superman would have a punch action if you squeeze their legs, so that's kind of what it reminds me of. Bishop asks, do I think there would be a crossover of G.I. Joe and the rest of the Marvel Universe in film? Who has the proprietary rights of G.I. Joe, Hasbro or Marvel? Well, to answer the last question first, Hasbro has it. And, I mean, they really want to do a crossover. I mean, they've been talking about it for years, about doing a Hasbro cinematic universe. I'm not so certain it's a good idea, but it seems like they really want to do it. And if they really want to do it, eventually they will probably do it. I just hope and pray it's not bad. I think a lot will be determined on the success of the Snake Eyes movie. If the Snake Eyes movie turns out to be good, then we'll have more. We'll eventually have a G.I. Joe movie, and we'll probably eventually have a G.I. Joe crossover, G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie. Yeah, well, it all depends on how well that first movie does. Jason says Bumblebee was great. I also liked Bumblebee. I thought it was a good movie. Songcrafter, I did not give Emergency a try, but I'm fine. I just needed some rest and to kind of keep to myself for a while, and I'm okay. Like I said, I have that lingering cough, which fortunately at the moment I'm kind of able to keep it under control. I haven't been coughing in you guys' faces, so we're all right. It's just the frequency at which I've been getting sick has been a little unfortunate. I normally rarely get sick, so this is a little unusual. Mark says his daughter loves my videos and wants Hoodie Coco t-shirts signed by. Well, cool. First of all, thanks. I'm glad that she likes them. And I haven't actually thought of a method of getting a signed t-shirt to anyone, but maybe we can work something out. I'll figure out some way to do that. Nobody's ever asked me for a signed t-shirt before, so I'll have to figure out some way to do that. But I'm glad that she likes it. So 117 Legion says is in school and working on a Holocaust project. That is a very heavy subject matter. Important to learn about in school, but certainly a very heavy subject. What was my first Transformers figure? I'm not sure I remember which one was exactly my first one. I know very early on I had Prowl. And I really liked Prowl, but I'm not sure if I remember exactly which one was my first one. I never had as many Transformers as G.I. Joe. I had a few. James Corman, the voice acting on that tape, I think is hilarious. I think it's not very good, but at least it's bad in an entertaining way. Yes, Green Yeti, the Holocaust is it was pretty dark. Yes, it's about as dark as you can get. Jason says his was Mirage. Yeah, Mirage. Mirage was one of them. I know I had Mirage too. And again, I don't remember if that one was the first one, but I liked Mirage. In fact, I liked most of them that were kind of in that scale, in that size. I liked them better than the little ones. I never, at the time, understood why you had like little cars and big cars. Why were they different sizes? I didn't get that. But yeah, I know I had Mirage. The thing is, I think they were kind of expensive, though. I think that's one reason why I didn't get very many of them, is that the Transformers that were in that scale were, I think, a little bit pricey at the time. I don't remember exactly, but I think that might have been it. And oh, Jason Karras, Bumblebee was your first Transformer. Well, that's a very popular Transformer, one of the most popular, so that's a good way to start. Mark said his was Megatron. I never actually had a Megatron. I had a knockoff Transformer, like an off-brand, sort of like Megatron, but not exactly. And I never had my own Optimus Prime. I always had to play with somebody else's Optimus Prime. So, yeah. I mean, I liked Transformers. I think I liked the cartoon. I think I liked the Transformers animated series more than I liked the toys. The animated series actually was very entertaining to me, and I watched it all the time. But the toys, I never had as many of the toys as G.I. Joe. With G.I. Joe, especially in those early years, I was just getting as much as I could. Vincent saw, yeah, the C-130 or the I forget what it's called, but the Sentinel-1 big airplane. You have the one in a camo version. Oh, cool. Any other non-Joe vehicles / playsets you recommend to enhance your Joe collection? Oh, that's a good question. I don't usually get like off-brand stuff very often, mainly because I still have a lot that I need to get, for the show, and so that's expensive. So I don't usually buy a lot of off-brand stuff, but like a lot of like the True Heroes vehicles, some of them look really awesome, and the prices were really nice on them. So, you know, there's a whole variety of those that would go really well with G.I. Joe. Chad says his cousin gave him the original non-Transformers gray Shockwave. Yeah. I guess as a kid, I was always a little disappointed to get a knockoff rather than like a real Transformer. Nowadays, I think I shouldn't have complained quite so much because, you know, my parents and, you know, the rest of my family who were buying these for me as gifts for birthdays and stuff, they were doing the best they could, and a lot of the times they wouldn't know the difference anyway, so, you know, you got to be gracious when accepting a gift. Yeah, but I mean, Joe's stuff was, well, a lot, not all of it, but a lot of it was more affordable. I mean, you get a figure for $3. You know, if you got an allowance of $10, you could go and get 3 figures with it. It was just easier to collect a lot of Joes. And on the vehicles, some of them were really big and expensive, of course, but they had a lot of small vehicles too. So you could still, like, not spend a lot of money and get a whole bunch of smaller vehicles, and it'd be awesome. You know, you could have a whole battle and a whole bunch of stuff. So that's, you know, not the only reason I like G.I. Joe, but it's certainly one reason why I was able to get a lot of them. Swamp Thing says He-Man was on steroids. Well, you know, his physique is, it doesn't look natural. Although I really like He-Man too. I don't have He-Man stuff. Well, I guess I got one He-Man guy, but as a kid, I didn't get any He-Man. My parents didn't like He-Man, so they didn't really let us get any He-Man. So Now, as an adult, looking back at He-Man, I think, hey, this stuff is fun. It's really cool. I kind of wish that I had it, but I didn't have any back in the day. Elkill says, for me, it was 1 Star Wars, 2 Joe, 3 He-Man, and 4 Transformers. Well, obviously, for me, G.I. Joe was number 1, but Transformers, that was my first experience in collecting action figures. I got Transformers before G.I. Joe came out. So I really, and I still collected Transformers a little bit after I started collecting G.I. Joe, just not nearly as much. So yeah, now I have a few Kenner Star Wars figures. I don't have a lot of them, but it's still really cool to look back at those Kenner Star Wars toys. They're really fun. So yeah, I have a soft spot for Star Wars toys as well. Corey says, what's your favorite Cobra jet and pilot? Mine is Firebat and AVAC pilot. Those are good ones. Let me think about favorite jet. It would be tempting to say the Night Raven, because that's an amazing jet. But I always had a lot of nostalgia for the Rattler and Wild Weasel. So tentatively, I'll say the Rattler and Wild Weasel. Although objectively, though, you know, the Raven is probably is better. You know, it's bigger, it has more features. But yeah, I think the Rattler was always like the main Cobra Air Force jet to me. That was the main fighter for Cobra. Robert says his big pre-G.I. Joe stuff was Star Wars and He-Man. Born in September 79. Asked for Star Wars Christmas of 82. Was told I had to wait a year. Oh, you had to wait? Man, that stinks. I was born in 75. So, I mean, obviously I was too young to see or remember the Star Wars movie when it first came out. But I know that it came back to movie theaters when I was about 4 years old. And I know I saw Star Wars somewhere around that time. And, you know, as soon as the figures started coming out, you know, I'd get those. Even if I don't know that I even understood the Star Wars movie very well, but I still got the figures. And then my dad, I think, was a big Star Wars fan. My dad loved the movie, and I think he loved the movie as much as we did. And we would get a lot of Star Wars toys for Christmas and stuff. I think mainly because my dad wanted to see it. You know, my dad wanted to see these toys, and so he'd get them for us. I don't think he ever quite had that enthusiasm for G.I. Joe. But I think that's one reason why we would still get a lot of Star Wars stuff for Christmas, even after we had kind of moved on to G.I. Joe. I think the Star Wars stuff was probably as much for my dad as it was for us. And I think at the time, you know, he didn't play with the toys because, you know, as an adult, you didn't do that kind of thing at the time. But I think he really wanted to. Delvis hated Empire Strikes Back, and that's fine, even though that is nowadays the most beloved of the Star Wars movies. Certainly back then, you definitely could see things differently. Robert Hawkins points out what got him into Star Wars is the R2-D2 and C-3PO no smoking commercial. I have seen that commercial. It's hilarious. It has R2-D2 smoking a cigarette. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all, but it's awesome. Let's see, Chris was born in 76. Also saw Star Wars in the theaters on a re-release in 1980. Yeah, it was re-released in the theaters at least a couple of times. I think I saw it sometime in 1979. I'm almost certain I was 4 years old when I saw it. It's one of my earliest memories. I mean, I have like two memories from when I was 4 years old, and one of them was seeing Star Wars in a movie theater. I even remember which movie theater it was. That movie theater doesn't exist anymore, but back then it was one of the bigger theaters in town. Byron asks if I remember Hardware Wars. I have seen Hardware Wars, and it's quite amusing. And I think Hardware Wars is on YouTube. So if you haven't seen Hardware Wars, you can go watch it. You should go watch it. It's amusing. It's got a lot of 70s humor. It's one of the most 70s things ever made. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in to the G.I. Joe show to talk about Star Wars. But I don't mind. I like Star Wars. It's a great show. It's a great movie. They are great movies, not just one movie. They're all. I like all of them. But if anybody feels like talking about G.I. Joe, that certainly we can do that too. It looks like we still have about 9 minutes to go in this live stream, and when we're done, I do need to go eat dinner because I haven't eaten yet. Yeah. Oh yeah, Invader 6 says Star Wars is way overpriced. Yeah. If you want to collect the old Kenner Star Wars now, the prices are inflated. I have to say, prices on the vintage Star Wars getting a little out of hand, I gotta say. But yeah, and prices on G.I. Joe collectors are going up too, but not as much as Star Wars is just going through the stratosphere. But if you look at the prices of G.I. Joe, vintage G.I. Joe toys, they're trending upward. EVGMZ says, have I seen the prices for Brazilian Joes? Every once in a while I do see one listed, and yeah, they're crazy. I think the Brazilian ones are a bit rare, so yeah, they tend to go for pretty crazy prices. Yeah, so this is something that that I try to tell people anytime I get asked for advice on collecting, is that take your time. There are good deals out there. Be patient. Don't overpay for stuff. And just remember, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You don't need to own everything right now. So just take your time and enjoy the experience of collecting. And just don't just throw money at stuff. It's out there. So yeah, just take your time. I am not one of these guys that says, hey, go out there, buy a bunch of stuff, and spend a bunch of money. I work like everybody else. I know a lot of you guys, you guys work for a living, right? And you got to take care of business. You got to take care of your responsibilities, and that always comes first. So I don't see any special virtue in spending a bunch of money on toys. It's nice to have them. Obviously, I spend probably more than I should on toys, but this is after making sure that my responsibilities are taken care of. Okay, so yeah, let's keep things in priority, right? Priorities. Oh, Bishop says adios. See you later. Sayonara. Hope to see you next week. And I know somebody asked a question and I missed it, and I'm sorry. So I apologize for missing your question. There was a question and I'm sorry. Stuff is going by too fast, and then I'm talking too much. Della says, Hoodie, are you going to melt down all your Joes and make a life-size version of you when the collection is complete? You're on to me. You caught on to my secret plan. I'll create a giant memorial to myself. Elk Hills asks if anyone's seen the Plastic Crack documentary yet. I haven't seen it yet, so if anybody has seen it, I would be interested in knowing what you think about it. I'd like to see it eventually. But like I said, I have not had a lot of time to watch things, so I'm a little behind on most things. Chad points out that spending money on Joe's is better than spending money on meth. Yes, that is true, and much more illegal. And yeah, that's good point. Good point. Christopher says, what's my favorite subgroup? If you count the Dreadnoks as a subgroup, I think they're great. If not, then I really like Night Force. Night Force is awesome. But I mean, it's hard to choose, though, because other subgroups have their merit. But those are the ones that I can think of right off the top of my head that I consistently go back to and enjoy looking at. Renegade Biker says, how cold is it now? I don't know. Let me see. It was getting colder. It warmed up a bit today. It wasn't as cold today as it was yesterday. Let me see. It may not be too bad. I'm checking. As soon as this updates sometime today. Robert likes Tiger Force. Yeah, Tiger Force. Oh, it's 35 degrees. It's not even freezing. It's fine. Tiger Force has its pros and cons, but as a kid, I did like Tiger Force because I was able to get some figures that I didn't have. Some like classic characters. Replace some characters, some figures that I lost or broke. So it was Tiger Force was really useful for that. Groundhog hunting. Okay, interesting. Bishop says, construct a vintage figure of myself and give us a review. I don't know what parts I would use. I have thought of that before, but I haven't actually got around to trying that. And plus, I don't have a lot of experience now as a customizer. I did a lot of customizing as a kid, but in recent years, I haven't really done very much customizing. But anyway, I don't know if you can hear it, but my voice is actually starting to give out a little bit, and we're really close to being at our hour. So I'm going to start to wind down here. Make sure, say good evening to everyone. I'm glad I was able to make it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I'm really sorry for missing last week. I just know my voice would not have held up if I had tried to do it. So, but I really don't like missing these live streams. These live streams are the highlight of my week. It's something I really enjoy, just coming here and being able to talk to everyone. So, yeah. So thanks everyone for showing up. I'm really glad everybody didn't forget about me after not seeing me for a week. So. Yeah, so I guess it's time to wrap up. Thank you all. There is a video coming tomorrow, and the review for this coming weekend is done. It's ready, so you'll get your stuff on time. Yeah. Madison Carter says, thanks for the video. It's been a tough year, and keeping distracted really helped. Well, thanks. Thank you. I'm glad you like them, and I hope your year goes better. I hope things go better for you. Hey, that is a good note to end on. I will see you guys next week for next week's live stream. I'll see you tomorrow for a midweek review that's going up, and I'll see you this weekend for a new review. But for now, I will say bye, and I will push this little button to turn this thing off.